Hi everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for Scrap Academy. This term we're talking about taking inspiration from things, and today we're talking about mood boards. So here is the mood board I'm using today. Now if you are ever not sure about what to be inspired by in a mood board, just look at it and take a look at all the things, and I tend to make a list as well. So these things in this mood board can be completely random, they don't have to be exact. If you look in the top left corner of the mood board, there is a image with broomsticks. There are also leaves, so I've got leaves on my list, broomsticks. I probably won't use a broomstick, I definitely won't. And then in that background of that image there is slats on the wall. So that actually has inspired me too. I'm going to cut up the background of my layout and arrange it in horizontal slats because they are in the mood board. When looking at a mood board, you can look at the overall theme. So clearly this one is autumn themed. There are houses in this mood board. There are autumn pictures of pumpkins. So I'm not going to use pumpkins on this layout, but you could absolutely do so if you wanted to. So anything Halloween themed, or just general pumpkin picking or harvest, all that kind of stuff would go really well for this mood board. The bottom right image is a cup with like a nice yummy drink and a flake, but the lady holding the cup has got either a thick jumper on, like cozy image, with it's like a rusty colour. Bottom middle image is acorns. Over to the left you've got a chair with a cozy blanket, you've got more leaves, they're darker in colour, you've got a candle, you've got a cup, books, and some flowers as well, or kind of leafy flower, heathery type stuff. So lots and lots and lots of things there, as well as the middle quote, which is eat, drink and be cozy. So lots and lots of things that could be used. So as I said a moment ago, my inspiration has not really come from the colours in the mood board. I've decided to go for slightly different colours, but that's okay. So even though you might look at the mood board and look at my layout and think, well, they look nothing like each other because the colours are different, doesn't mean that I didn't take inspiration from the mood board. So I've gone for an overall theme of kind of autumn feel and cosy wintry days, but I haven't gone for classic autumn with pumpkins and Halloween, those kind of things. So I've gone for the overall autumn and cozy theme, but I haven't gone for this very obvious items on the mood board. Yeah, so I started off with the slats in the background. I love houses. I had a whole sheet of Maggie Holmes marigold houses, so I fussy cut a load of those. There's a house image on the mood board, top middle image, and this photo was a day where the 5 of us went to visit a model village, so there was lots and lots of houses there. So houses go really really well with this photo, and they go beautifully with the mood board as well. Absolutely, they work well. So far I've got inspiration from the slats on the top left image, and I've got inspiration from the houses. There's pumpkins on the right hand side of the mood board. I have no pumpkins on this layout, however pumpkins are circular shaped, and therefore I have brought in 2 doilies which are also circular shaped, so I'm going with that. Doilies also have texture on them because they have the lacy bit around the outside, and that reminded me of the acorns on the mood board because they have the shiny middle part of the actual nut itself, and they have the really bumpy textured outside edge piece for the cup. So that is another way that I have given a nod to the mood board there. So I'm now fussy cutting some flowers. I've gone for the vellum, I think they're Amy Tangerine, beautiful speciality sheet of flowers. It's foiled as well, so it's kind of like coppery colour, so that's a colour that's in the mood board most definitely. And the vellum, soft vellum feel reminded me of the background in the image with the cup with cream and the chocolate flake, because it's kind of like a marbled soft looking background, so that is brought in there as well. I'm just layering those behind my photo. Now, of course, in the mood board, there's lots of leaves, not so much flowers, although there are some like heather type flowers in the bottom left image, but I reckon that that's okay. Any flowers will go. So yeah, flowers from the Amy Tangerine paper there as well. So now just mounting my photo onto some mustard coloured cardstock. Now that is a colour that appears in the mood board. The leaves in the top left image are kind of golden mustardy type colour, so that is good there. I've also brought in some other gold onto this layout too for the same reason. Now I'm just carrying on with the clusters of my houses. So I wanted to have some distinct areas of houses, or clusters of houses on here. It kind of reminded me, the three slats kind of reminded me of three different streets, like going off up into the hills or something. So I have a cluster of houses at the bottom in the middle, a cluster of houses to the right of my photo, also to the left as well, and then another cluster of houses in the top right slat as well. So yeah, they're really cute. I love them. They're poking out from the gaps as well. Very, very sweet. So yeah, I've also got flowers all over my background as well. So again, another nod to the mood board and the flowers and the leaves that appear in that there. Okay, so I'm just going to get my photo stuck in place now before I start with all of my other embellishments. So I'm just layering up the bits under my photo. I've got the two doilies, I've got the vellum flowers, so I just wanted to kind of create a big cluster around my photo really, and so I'm doing that by building up the big layers behind the photo, as well as the house clusters to the left and to the right. You can see over on the right hand side next to my layout, I've got a little bramble fox hat. Now that's a knitted hat. It's a perspective from the November Fox box, but it's blue, which doesn't really go with my layout, but as it's frosted, if I layer it on top of something else, I think it will be okay. The reason I brought that in is because it's knitted, and the bottom right image of the layout with the lady holding the cup, she has a really chunky knitted jumper on, and I know it's not a hat, it's a jumper, but it's still like a cable knit, and that's what the detailing on the hat, the bramble fox hat, is. So that's another way of bringing in the mood board details there. Also over in the left hand side of the mood board there is an image of the chair with a cozy blanket over it, so that also kind of brings in that cozy feel. Yeah, so okay, so I'm now just adding some more flowers. So I wanted to build up the cluster behind my photo. I had tons and tons of beautiful Pink Fresh Studio Days of Splendor flowers and leaves, so I'm just adding those in and creating kind of like an arch. Once I put the doily in place, I've really, there's two doilies as you can see, but the top one is a bit too tall. I wish I'd pushed it down a bit further, but it's too late now, it's stuck, and I've stuck everything on top of it and behind it, so there's no going back. I'm just going to have to work with what I've got. So I'm just trying to build up the clusters in that area to cover up that middle part of the doily that just shows a bit too much. So I'm just going to kind of create an arc going all the way around my photo, or a cluster that just goes around the edges of my photo really, so it looks like my photo is sitting on top of a cluster rather than having that large bit above it, which doesn't really look quite right at the moment. So anyway, I'm going to carry on working on that and sorting that out. Overall, I'm just adding some extra bits over on the right hand side. I've just added a fussy cut mug, and of course the mug goes well because there's a mug in the photo. There's also a cup of tea or something similar, so the mug goes well there, so I've added that in, and just adding some other little bits and pieces as well. I've added an owl, I've added what else have I added? I've added my title that says Together. I'm still fiddling around adding other bits and pieces. I've just added that little happy circle ephemera to the top. Again at the top, over to the right hand side, I've just added a circle sticker that has a mug inside it. Again, that goes well with the mood board because I have the mug on the mood board. Okay, so you can see from overall what I'm saying, that there's so many things on a mood board that you can bring into a layout, that you don't necessarily have to have the really obvious things. So you don't have to create an autumn layout, and you don't have to create a layout with pumpkins or acorns on it. You can nod to those things in many ways and be inspired by them without just looking at the really, really obvious points. So if you look at a mood board and think, oh goodness, that doesn't suit me at all, what on earth am I going to do with that? Look a bit deeper and see if you can see other things that inspire you more than the original obvious items. It's not to say that you shouldn't do the obvious items. If the obvious items work for you and the colours are good for you, go for it. Absolutely, that makes it really easy. But it's just if you're working on something and it wasn't quite right for you, or you wanted to enter a challenge, for example, that was a mood board based challenge but you weren't sure about it, then there are many ways that you can link your layout to the images in the mood board without having to use the overall feel. Okay, so just adding in a bow. That's a gold colour, so that went well with the mood board, and just wasn't quite sure where to add it. I liked it there, but I wanted to still have this gap with the doily that's really bothering me, so I wanted to kind of cover that up. So I tried the bow up there, didn't like it, moved it back. Now I'm just going to add in this little banner that says family time, which is perfect because we are together out having a family day out. We don't often go out as a five because my 2-year-old is an absolute nightmare at the moment. He's just here, there, everywhere, and doesn't tolerate family days out particularly well yet. Give him another year, he might be a bit more reasonable, but at the moment not so much. So lockdown's been quite good for us, yeah, so just adding some bits and pieces here. Oh, I wanted to do my journaling, but I couldn't write on the background because it was so busy, so I've just sorted that out by bringing in some of the mustard colour pattern paper. I've cut 3 strips. Again, that's a nod to the slats on the back ground of the broomstick image. I've distressed the edges and sticking those in place, and then I can write on those. Now I'm just going to bring in some more Bramble Fox items. So I've got some cute critters from one of the Bramble Fox sets. I've got a fox who's like leaping, and I've got a little hedgehog as well that I'm going to add to the top. So I'm going to get those added in as well, just because they're super duper cute, and this layout is a cute one with all the houses and the little, I've got a squirrel already and an owl and things, and a little tiny deer. All of those are from Maggie Holmes Marigold collection, so now I'm just bringing in the critters from Bramble Fox, and they work really well too. So just handwriting in my journaling, and I'm nearly done. I'm sorry for the glare on the photo there. I don't know why it's so bad today. Normally I don't have a massive, sometimes it happens, but maybe it's just the angle of where the photo is raised on foam pads. I'm not sure why that's as bad as it is today. So sorry about that, but yeah, so now I'm just adding in some twiddles of gold thread. I've got one over to the right of my photo, and I'm going to add one over to the left as well. These tendrils remind me of the tendrils that you can see in the pumpkin photo. You know, it's on like they're on like a bed of hay, and all the tendrils from the pumpkins are around them. So the thread works in that respect as well. Yeah, I'm nearly done now. Just finally finishing off. Adding in my little Bramble Fox hat there, getting him stuck down. That's so cute. And now I'm going to add some splatters of white paint to my layout around the big cluster of my photo there, just because my background is quite dark, which is unusual for me, and I just wanted to lighten it up a bit with some splatters of white paint. There we go, and that is my layout complete. So I hope that this has enlightened you in respect of using a mood board, and that you'll give it a go, and don't be intimidated by them. They're actually great fun to use. One of my favourite challenges. Okay, thank you so very much for joining me today. That was Nikki Rowland for Scrap Academy.